else stand out to you about the way you played?
Obviously, I mean, we haven't watched it with the coaches yet, but obviously when you watch the tape, I mean, I think most of the time you have a pretty realistic view of how things happen, but there's always a couple things that jump out at you. Nothing crazy.
Bears defense can't hang on to the ball too long.
Oh, hey, I mean, you have to rely on everybody on your team to do their job, and at the end of the day, I'm the last person with the ball, and I have to do mine also. But I think sometimes you have to build those things into the game plan and all that. But at the same time, you just have to play your game. You have to have confidence that you're going to be able to get the things done that you want to get done, and sometimes maybe you have to build up to that. But we understand that these guys are a really good defense, and have been playing well for a pretty good amount of time now, and have a good front. So I'm not gonna. There's no way I can just drop back and say I'm gonna get rid of the ball faster. First of all, guys got to be open, and second of all, we're not just gonna change. You don't just automatically blink and change everything to 3-step drop, 3-yard routes. I mean, that's not going to win you the football game anyway.
What were your impressions of Rich Shangarello and his play calling debut in the NFL?
Yeah, well, it's always. I mean, listen, it's our first time together, and so I'm not really thinking about it being his first time calling plays in the NFL. I'm just thinking about it being our first time together. So I think it was great to get it under our belt. I think we worked through some things in the first half, and we're even better in the second half. So. I think it was good, and I think there's room for improvement for both of us. So.
Do you think there should be an emphasis on getting Emmanuel Sanders the ball sooner in the game?
It is what it is. I mean, we had some plays for Emmanuel, and it just didn't work out. He's obviously a player that we want to get involved in the game. I mean, he's going to leave a good mark on all the games that he's able to get touches and do his thing. So. I wouldn't say that we didn't try to. I mean, it's just one of those things where it didn't work out, and it is up to us to make sure that doesn't happen. At least the majority of the time.
Noah Fant didn't have the NFL debut that he was hoping for. What have you told him today, maybe a little bit yesterday?
Well, I haven't really told. I mean, if I'm being honest, I haven't really told him much yet. But he's a young guy. I mean, listen, one game out of hopefully a couple hundred, and. You have to make sure that no matter what, you use it as a learning experience. You don't let it affect your mental focus and confidence and all those things. And obviously, to get confidence in this league, you have to go play well and make some plays. So I think it's on me and the rest of the guys to, help that happen so that he can kind of get his confidence up and continue to play faster and faster.
Joe, how extra helpful do you think that Vic can be because he knows those defensive players so well? And do you think you'll pick his brain a little bit more this week?
Well, Vic's got a lot to worry about just with our defense and getting ready for them. I mean, I think they're running a different scheme, so I think player to player, what those guys do well, he obviously has a good feel for it, I'm sure. I'm sure he's talked to our coordinators and our offensive staff about it, and I'll pick his brain about that for sure. But at the end of the day, it's still about attacking the scheme and making sure that, we set our game plan up in order to take care of some of those things. So I think there is a little bit that you can take from it, but I don't know if you'd look too much into it.
You found Portland a lot during the game. What did you like about his game, about connecting with him?
Well, I thought he made some catches in traffic and, had strong hands, and I thought he did a good job getting some yardage after the catch also. It wasn't like he was wide open, but he's a big physical guy that that I can feel comfortable throwing the ball to in some of those situations. And it was good to see him play the way he did and really rise to the occasion and get himself going. So I think he's going to be big for us, obviously, as the year goes on. But it definitely helps to have a big physical guy like him playing well because it just makes everybody else go that much more.
You have a good comfort level with Elijah. You get a lot of snaps in August.
Listen, I mean, in an NFL season, you're going to move around linemen, bring new ones in, put this guy here, this guy over here. It's just the name of the game. I mean, it's such a physical game. Even in today's world, it's impossible to keep 5 guys healthy for 16 games. So as a quarterback, you just trust the fact that we've done what we need to up to this point and that guys are getting themselves ready to play, and that's all you can really do.
How has your relationship with Connor developed throughout training camp to where you guys are now?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, Connor likes to have a lot of feedback on how things are getting back there, and And I think he does a great job getting up to the line of scrimmage and making calls quickly so that we can kind of get the ball snapped and not waste too much time at the line of scrimmage. So I think we're getting better and better, and we're going to be able to do more and more things in terms of our cadence and things like that as the season goes on.
Joe, how good is Khalil Mack in your opinion?
I mean, I just got to stand up here and state the obvious or what? I mean, we all know how good he is and what he can do, you know, to have his effect on a football game. So, you know, I got confidence in the guys in front of me and how our plan's gonna do that. But, you know, with players like that, you know, they have all the ability in the world to do some stuff that they want to, no matter what. And you just got to make sure when those things happen, you minimize the damage and move on.
With Tim Patrick down, Juwan Winfrey, who was a healthy scratch versus Oakland, could be a guy that fits in that role now. What did you see from him in camp and preseason?
Yeah, well, Juwan's he's a big physical guy that runs well, and I think he's a guy that once he gets out there and makes some plays in the NFL, you know, it'll kind of catapult him to the next level. So once again, it's the nature of the business that we're in. Guys have to step up, and you know, you go from no role to key role within a matter of a couple minutes. So, you know, I think there's no other way to look at it but then to be excited for guys like that and see what they can do.
Joe, given the lack of play in the preseason for every NFL player, how much more rhythm do you gain going from game 1 to game 2 of the regular season?
Well, I think no matter what, there's always the most. I mean, it's one of those old things where there's always the most improvement from week 1 to week 2. You know, you learn a lot about what your team is and how tough you guys are, and you know, there's all kinds of those things. So the difference with the NFL and how physical the game is you obviously have to make those corrections and learn from some of the mistakes you may have made while you're also switching guys around like we've just talked about. So it kind of doubles the difficulty of it. But, you know, I'm excited to get out in front of the home crowd and see, you know, that we have learned from some of the things that we didn't do well in the game up in Oakland and see what we can do to fix it.
What is the advantage to being back home, and for you, kind of your first real game as a Bronco in some ways, just because it's in front of your Texas fans?
It's tough to pinpoint the actual advantage of being at home. You know, when you're a good team, you tend to play well no matter where you are, but it is going to be exciting and a lot of fun to get out there in front of these guys for the first time. Obviously, I've been out there in a preseason game for a minimum amount of snaps and, you know, all that, but I'm excited to get out there in front of these guys for the first time and put a good product out there.
You and Cortland seemed to hit it off really from the first OTA, and then it carried over into game 1. Just, can you talk about him and what you like about him, especially across the middle there like you had in game 1?
Well, like I said, I mean, I think all of his physical attributes you can just see. I mean, they're there for everybody to see. He's big, he's long, he can run, he has good hands, he can reach out and snag the ball in coverage. And this game, it just worked out that, you know, a lot of the things that we were calling to him, he at least had a little bit of a window to make space, to get a little bit of space and make the catch. And I thought he did a really good job. He was really patient. You know, he got all his depth. And then once he caught the ball, you can see what he can do. He was popping out the other end and, you know, almost took a couple, you know, really far. So I think it's all exciting when you look at him. He's young. But the other thing, you don't get to see a lot of it in practice and even in preseason games, but he's definitely a gamer. I mean, he you know, he was super excited to be out there, and, you know, he carried that all throughout the game and, you know, played tough, all those things that you can't really see in practice. I think he definitely has all those other qualities that, you know, that you really need to play in this league.
Time for a few more for Joe? There isn't any?
0 more?
Okay.
Like it.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks.
Joe.